Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Healing Aspirations with Amani. My name is Amani Obeid, your holistic dental health coach. My mission is to help support women overcome their fear of the dentist and tooth pain and simplify natural oral care. Thank you for joining me today on day number 4 of the pre-Ramadan reboot. So excited to have you with me today. And just to recap, in case this is the first time you're seeing this series of videos, this week I started talking about how you can optimize your Ramadan in all aspects, spiritually, physically, emotionally, In Shaa Allah. And day number 1, we talked about the importance of setting your goals for this month and making a list of your du'ats. In general, talking about the importance of planning ahead for Ramadan, because if you fail to plan, then you're planning on failing. Day number 2, we talked about the importance of getting your body ready from now to be super hydrated and used to drinking copious amounts of water, because this helps you in many different aspects. So check day number 2 of the video series for more details. Yesterday, I talked about the importance of incorporating daily nettle infusions into your routine, because a nettle infusion is a very strong tea of nettles. And what it does is it's essentially a daily natural multivitamin in liquid form, which is super absorbable, and this will help you with your cravings, it'll help you with your energy levels, it'll help you with your teeth, In Shaa Allah. So today I am going to talk to you about what to eat, when to eat, and how often. Now, the reason why this talk is so important is because a lot of times, especially with women, because we are responsible for so many different things, and if you have kids, you have different obligations, you have the best of intentions with Ramadan, but within the first week your body crashes. Your energy levels have plummeted, and because you're surviving on a decreased amount of sleep, given that it's springtime and it's slowly coming into summer, you can't focus. You wanted to do extra prayers, you're not able to do them. You can't even focus on your recitation of the Quran. You're impatient and you're grumpy with your kids, when actually all that you really wanted to do was be able to be extremely empathetic this month with them, and that way you can continue being a kind, loving, and empathetic and understanding mother. And on top of all this, so the lack of energy, the lack of focus, the impatience, the grumpiness, your mood swings, on top of all that, you have increased tooth sensitivity in Ramadan. So this is why I decided I really wanted to talk about, like I said, what to eat, when to eat, and how often. Now, typically, the majority of people today are unfortunately used to having a very sweet breakfast. And eating a sweet breakfast that is high in simple carbohydrates is not going to set you for the best start for your day. The reason is simple carbs are quickly absorbed. They give you a quick boost of energy, but then they crash, right? Your blood sugar levels are going to crash, and with that, your energy levels are going to crash, and with that, your focus and everything else. And as you've heard me talk about before in my previous videos, when you have unstable blood sugar levels, this actually affects your teeth from the inside, because it reverses the flow of the dentinal fluid, which is responsible for remineralizing your teeth if it's going from the inner part of the tooth to the outer part of the tooth. And I've talked about that in previous videos. So when your blood sugar levels are not stable, this flow is reversed. The minerals are going to be pulled from your teeth to your bloodstream and to more important organs in your bodies, because your brain is more important than your teeth, right? Your body's going to prioritize your brain and not your teeth, which is why your teeth are going to decay. So, basically today, the importance of what you're eating so that you can optimize your body during this blessed month of Ramadan. So, first of all, let's talk about what you should eat. You want your breakfast to be balanced in terms of your macronutrients, so your fats and your proteins and your carbohydrates. And also you want it to be full of vitamins and minerals. So, first of all, let's talk about protein. And I've talked about this before in my 5-day sugar challenge, the 5-day sugar detox challenge that I did a couple of months ago. A lot of times when you are craving sugars and craving simple carbs, it's because either you're lacking in minerals, which is why I talked about nettles yesterday. This gives you minerals. That's number one. Another one could be because you are deficient in protein. You are not consuming enough protein. So, first of all, you need to make sure that your breakfast has a minimum of 30 grams of protein. And to calculate that, you can always use, there's a bunch of different applications and websites online that you can enter, the gram amount of the food that you're eating, and it'll give you the breakdown of all the macronutrients and micronutrients in that food. So you can use a website like fitday.com, for example. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure you are eating enough protein. So 30 grams of protein as a bare minimum. That's number one. Number two, I want you to have a small serving of some sort of healthy fat. So you can do something like a handful of nuts and seeds. You can do half an avocado. You can do a tablespoon of olive oil, something like that. That way you're balancing the protein with fat, because too much protein without fat is also imbalanced. And now for the vitamins and minerals. I want you to have 2 cups of cooked vegetables or 4 cups of raw vegetables. So if you're going to have cooked vegetables, maybe a side of collard greens, some carrots or something, make sure that's 2 cups worth. Or if you want to have a soup, 2 cups worth of soup that's very rich in a variety of vegetables, or like 4 cups of salad that's got a lot of different vegetables, In Shaa Allah. As for the carbohydrates, I know some people look at Ramadan as a chance to lose weight. This is not the objective of Ramadan. The objective of Ramadan is to attain taqwa, which is God consciousness. But Allah, in His infinite mercy, He has permitted all that is good for us and has prohibited all that is bad for us. And obviously He has prescribed fasting to us because it is good for us. And so if fasting is done properly, then, and you are not overeating, and you are properly eating, and you're not overfilling your stomach, a nice beneficial side effect could be weight loss. And eating something like this, something balanced, may result, depending on what your body's like, it may result in some unintended weight loss. So think of it that way. Your goal is not to lose weight. Your goal in Ramadan is to be able to focus and perform your obligations for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as a result of supporting your body in doing that, the increased energy will result in your weight loss, In Shaa Allah. So, like I said, some people they might decide to do is they might decide to decrease the amount of carbohydrates in their meal for weight loss. You can do that. I don't recommend that you have to do that, but you can start with that. But definitely as a starting point for someone who's never done something like this before, eating a very balanced breakfast, start with a cup of a whole starch, so a whole carbohydrate. You can do something like a sweet potato. You can do something like fermented quinoa or some other grain, fermented quinoa or sprouted brown rice, something like that, or some sprouted chickpeas. So basically this will give you some glucose for your system, but it's not refined, and so it will be absorbed slowly over your body, and your body will also release it while it's getting energy from it slowly over the day instead of crashing. Now, that's the first point, okay? So it's a lot in a package, but I'm just trying to make you envision minimum 30 grams of protein, 2 cups of cooked vegetables or 4 cups of raw, some sort of healthy fat, like I said, half an avocado, handful of nuts, a tablespoon of olive oil, something like that, and a whole starch, 1 cup of whole starch. So sweet potato, some fermented grain, or some sprouted legume. Now, that's the first point. The second point is the importance of eating only 3 meals a day, okay? With about 5 hours between each meal, I want you to do absolutely no snacking. Now, sometimes, in a lot of cases, how and when you eat your fuel, your food, is a lot more important than any factor, even more important than how much you eat, okay? So the reason why I don't want you to snack at all is, first of all, you can't snack in Ramadan anyways. So you might as well get your body from now ready to eat 3 meals a day that are spaced out with no snacking between. Just drink water or an herbal tea, something without any calories in it whatsoever. And the reason why snacking is not recommended is it stresses your liver's metabolism. And what do I mean by liver's metabolism? Now, your liver, when you're doing this, you want to reteach it. You want it to relearn how to use a process called gluconeogenesis normally. What's gluconeogenesis? Basically, gluconeogenesis is the process where your liver, it turns non-sugar compounds like amino acids, lactate, and glycerol into sugar that your body can use as fuel. Okay, so it's kind of using other sources to convert it into a form that your body can burn off and use as fuel, inshallah. So if you're snacking, your body can't digest and detox at the same time. Okay, so you're either in a digesting mode or you're in detoxing mode. So if you are eating, you're not detoxing, you're not allowing your liver to do that process, which is super, super important for Ramadan, inshallah. The other thing about snacking is it destroys the timing and your circadian clock. What's the circadian clock? Your circadian clock is basically your body's biological clock that's supposed to be technically in tune with the sun, right? How many of you wake up with absolutely no energy in the morning, but for some reason at night you seem to perk up and now you're able to stay up and do all sorts of things? If this is you, this is a sign of a messed up circadian clock. And if you have this, and a lot of people have this, this makes Ramadan a struggle. So the importance of eating a balanced meal with a lot of protein is also to reset your circadian clock, and the fact that you're not snacking frequently throughout the day is also part of you resetting your clock, because you want to be able to go on with your day. You're not everyone is able to have the luxury of sleeping after Fajr. If you can, that's great, after the dawn prayer. But sometimes you got to get on. You have work to do. You have your kids. You need to be able to function. So this is why it's so important of what you eat and when you eat and how often you eat is so important in resetting that clock. Now, that's the second point. So I talked about the importance of no snacking. So the first point was about a minimum of 30 grams of protein. I talked about all the different aspects of your meal. And the second point is no snacking whatsoever. My third point is, and this is going to be hard for some people, and it's going to take your body some getting used to, but the more you do this from now, the more you're going to get ready. You're going to get your body ready to be able to consume this kind of meal as your pre-dawn meal and set the tone of the day for your fasting. So this meal, you need to eat it within an hour of waking up. If you can do within half an hour, that is even better. I know that seems a lot. You're like, oh my God, to be able to eat like protein and fat and veggies in the morning, like I'm not used to that. I know you're not. But if your intention is to make this Ramadan the best Ramadan yet, you need to support your body. And this is part of the way that you can support your body is by resetting its circadian rhythm and supporting its energy levels, In Shaa Allah. Now, just to recap one last time. So minimum of 30 grams of protein at breakfast, 2 cups cooked vegetables or 4 cups of raw, a side of healthy fat, like I said, avocado or nuts, or a tablespoon of healthy oil, like olive oil, and a cup of healthy starches, sweet potatoes, some sort of soaked grain, or sprouted legume. And no snacking. And the final point is to eat within an hour of rising, and if you can do it early, even sooner, within half an hour, that's ideal. So this is basically, in a nutshell, what I wanted to talk about today. Now, you might be thinking, can you give me some examples of what I can eat? What would be an example meal? And the first thing I actually would like to start off with, something super easy, because if you're going to eat very soon, right after you wake up in the morning, you want something to be easy, fast, and nutritious at the same time. So when speaking about protein, and if you don't know this about me by now, I am a fan of getting a lot of calcium and minerals from sources other than dairy, because the majority of people are unable to tolerate dairy. So this is why I mentioned nettles yesterday. And the other thing I'm going to encourage you to do is canned seafood with the bone. This over here is sockeye salmon that's canned with its bones. Why? It's got bones, which is it has all the proportion of the minerals that are needed to build your own bones, which are also your own teeth. So this has the calcium, the phosphorus, the magnesium, the boron that your teeth need to regenerate, right? Because the whole point of this pre-Ramadan reboot is to optimize your body And when you optimize your body, your teeth will also be optimized as well. Because like I said before, teeth are a reflection of the health of your entire body. Nice thing about this, it's already cooked. You just open it. There's your protein right there. You don't have to cook anything. It's done, right? You can warm it up if you want, but just for ease, this is ready. You have a half a slice of avocado there. You can have a couple cups of soup that you had already cooked before in a big batch. So you just kind of eat a little bit every day from it. And you already have a big sweet potato from the night before. There's your breakfast right there. It's ready, eat, done. Go on with your day, inshallah. So let me know what you think of today's video. I know it's a lot of information. If you have any questions, please post in the live post itself, or you can private message me, inshallah. If you are having any concerns about your teeth, if you're feeling sensitivity, if you're feeling pain, if you have an upcoming appointment that you're worried about, you haven't seen the dentist in a while, message me and let's talk, inshallah, and see how dental coaching can be of benefit to you. Jazakumullahu khairan. That's it for today, and inshallah I'll see you tomorrow on day number 5 of the pre-Ramadan reboot. Assalamu alaikum.